Troubles are coming your way at your local church if you are not crystal clear on this particular topic. Welcome to the Better Sundays podcast, focused, practical, and usable advice for church leaders looking to reach new young families and impact their community. Greetings. This is Mike Holmes here at ReachKeep.com at the Better Sundays podcast, and we are here to help you have better Sundays. And today we're going to cover a topic very important in our concept here of dealing with voices. And this is a place where your voice as a leader needs to be clear as crystal. There's a lot of different things that we talk about. We teach doctrine, and a lot of that just comes right from the printed pages of the Bible. We have business meetings, and we have, minutes and recordings of all that kind of stuff. We have, a lot of policies and procedures and stuff along that line that's even maybe in a manual that you have. But when it comes to certain topics, we need to make sure that they're not just printed, but they are being brought out through our very best speaking, very best clarity, our very best voice. And if there's an area where you want your voice to be clear, absolutely clear as crystal, it is in the direction and vision of your local church, where you are headed. So stay tuned. Let me share with you just a couple things that I have learned, and I hope that this will be a blessing to you. If you're here for the first time, my name is Mike Holmes. I am the founding pastor here at Sinclair Baptist Church, and it's a thrill to have you here on our YouTube channel, or if you're listening on audio at our podcast. You are welcome to share this, and we appreciate the thumbs up that we get. A lot of thumbs up here lately. That's always good. And new subscribers, we are always looking for those on our YouTube channel, so make sure that you take time to hit the subscribe button there and the little bell notification, and then every time we post one of these, which is weekly, you'll be able to jump right on and get these words of wisdom, okay? All these little tidbits. And a lot of this is just things that I have learned. And I've been in the ministry, nearly my entire life. And a lot of this I've gleaned from working with really dozens and dozens, well, literally hundreds of pastors. Through my travels with Baptist Youth Mission and Neighborhood Bible Time, I've literally been in hundreds of churches across America and spent hundreds of hours working with pastors and leadership. And I've seen some tremendous leaders out there. And I've also seen some ways that it just doesn't go well. And this is one of those things that if you don't get clarity in your vision, clarity in your direction, then things will not go well. There will be I'm making a prediction, okay, prophecy here, something coming down the road bad for you if you're not sharp on your vision. So let me just share a couple of these kind of thoughts that we have here. Church is really a group of volunteers, okay? We call it a volunteer sport, okay? It's just people come, and they come from all walks of life. They come from all sorts of different backgrounds and that type of stuff. I mean, it's wonderful that we raise kids all the way up in our church, and now they're adults in our church. We see some of that now in ours. It's very exhilarating to see that happen. But there are many people that kind of come in, and when they come with their own belief systems that they have. Many times in our churches we deal with the doctrine, and that's why we teach and kind of straighten them out and kind of get them onto the road of being a biblicist and the historical accuracy of the Bible, kind of following that. But when it comes to the vision of your local church and the vision, those are the 3 or 4 things that you are kind of like all about. Those things need to be really promoted and really made crystal clear, or people will bring stuff into the system that you don't want, and that will cause some problems. So let me just give you a couple notes here. Our church has 4 different core values, and your church, by the way, has core values too. You may not have them printed on the wall and, that type of thing and hanging up like we do, but we worked really hard to develop these. I won't share those with you now, but The idea is that we have these things that we are really kind of all about. It's not a doctrinal statement, and it's not something very broad like to glorify God, okay? It's a little bit, well, I'll share them with you. Okay, we believe in spiritual intimacy. A person needs to be close to God. We believe in active spiritual relations. In other words, a person needs to interact with other people around them in a spiritual sense, and that is not only witnessing but bearing one another's burdens, but that's apologizing and getting things right. We believe in community engagement, that our church is a city on a hill, that we are supposed to be engaged with our community, and we go out with the gospel. And we believe in spiritual deployment, which is really sort of that going out into the community and going out into missions and sending the message out. We're not supposed to hold it tight. So all of those four things, and that was very quick, those are what we are all about. And your core values need to be really clear. We have these in our doctrinal statement stuff. We have them in our membership class. In fact, our membership class, we teach more on this than anything else. We teach the greater amount of time is on our core values. So people really get it and they join what we are doing, okay? We're moving forward. They join with us, okay? Always remind them, you're joining us. Here's where we are going. Here's our direction. Here's our vision. Here's our values. So you want to make sure that you have that. Now, the core values things is great. And from core values, then you come up with like duties and responsibilities of different people that are doing things, all these volunteers and people that come. And this is where kind of the disaster thing comes, is if we do not really make clear the duties and responsibilities and really what our goals are, people who come in will bring their own, okay? They will go, oh, in our old church we used to do this, in our place we used to do that, and this is what, oh, this is so important, we think you need to do that. And some of those are fine things that they do, but we have our sets of values and we want to make sure that they are really promoted well. One of the things we did is we put together a sheet of things that we use here at our church, and I've shared this with you, and I want to share it with you. And it's 3 different things that we see that are kind of a blueprint to help us get those things done, our core values. And I have that sheet is what we call our blueprint, for a successful church here. It's just a better Sundays kind of blueprint is what we call it. But it's the idea of, number one, is creating an enjoyable and a welcoming atmosphere. That is very important to us. In fact, this is being recorded on a Sunday. I was sitting with somebody this morning. We all come early at our church, and it's so amazing. 30 minutes before the first service, there was people everywhere in our church, and they're fellowshipping, and they're getting their whiteboards ready, and they're getting their classes ready, and they're doing stuff. Everybody comes early because we believe in atmosphere. And you see, that's part of our engaging with each other and making sure we're community engagement and make sure that we are ready for each other. The next one we have here is the other idea of solving problems. And this is often thought of through the pulpit ministry and the preaching, but it's also the idea that people come to church lonely and we need to be a friend to them. People come to church with questions. We want to answer their questions. People come to church looking for something for their children. We want to make sure that we are every Sunday solving a problem. And that drives us to the last one, which is the idea of designing relationships. In other words, creating a place where relationships are valued and we can move people from just the Sunday morning experience, as we would call it, kind of a 1 hour or 2 hour type of thing where people come, into something a little bit deeper and longer, and that's part of that spiritual intimacy. Now, all of these things on this sheet I will send to you, and if you'd like it, it's just something that we put together. It works very good for us, and you can just go to reachkeep.com/blueprint, and this will help you have that, what we call growing church or a better Sunday, to help you really kind of get things going. But this is the place where we teach this stuff. We get the duties and philosophies out there so people aren't doing their own thing. They're doing the thing that we agreed that we want to do. It takes some leadership there. The last thing that has to do with this whole idea of clarity is that when you kind of have your core values and duties and responsibilities, those things are translated into kind of goals and events and different little more hands-on kind of things. And you want to make sure that the goals schedules for all the events, and those things are very clear that you know what we are doing. For example, we have, this is recorded in the summer, we have Vacation Bible School coming up. We believe it's important to reach out to the community in our Vacation Bible School, bring boys and girls in, teach them the things of God. That's a very important thing. But one of our most important things we do at Vacation Bible School is begin to build a relationship with the people as a family. And so we invite the moms and dads to come in and to watch their children. We have a closing program where moms and dads are be able to come and to watch their kids having fun and getting awards and standing up on a stage and doing presentation, because we believe that a family needs to be drawn close to God. And we are here to engage our community, and we do that through the little chunks of families. So that's why we do all the day camps and all the different things that we do. So all of this stuff is the values and the vision. And Pastor, if you're going to be crystal clear on anything, make sure it is this. And if you're not, this is where troubles will come, because you'll get people going off different directions, going off this way, going off that way. When people go off doctrinally, it's not a good thing. I'm not for it. But you usually have like a doctrinal statement and kind of a way to kind of deal with that. But when people's vision starts to veer off at a little bit different of an angle, it's hard to get it back on. It is much better to make yours the clearest and the proudest and the biggest and the best vision of everything right off the bat, so people stay in that narrow lane. And by the way, you can't have a vision for everything. You have to have a level of narrowness here and clarity. So I wanted to share that with you today, because in the voices thing, there's some people that are there's the loudest voice, and there's the most powerful voice. And Pastor, you're probably the most powerful voice as far as doctrine and teaching. But in all that powerfulness, make sure that you are promoting with tremendous clarity the vision of where you are going functionally as a church. Not just, that you're this doctrinal position here and this doctrinal position there, but where your church, how it is interacting in the community, and what those core values are. If you struggle with creating core values, or you're looking for something like that, please stay in touch with me. Our upcoming training that we have coming up, some coaching, we deal a lot with core values, and we would love to get you in on some of those discussions. If you're in our Reach Keep Academy, and many of you are that watch this, that's one of those things that we can, when we have our monthly discussions and we're all on a big Zoom class, you can say, hey, can you go through that core value thing again? I'd be happy to explain our core values and how we honed them down and kind of came up with those 4 particular ones. So anyway, I want to say thank you for being with us. If this has been helpful, thumbs up. Okay, hit the little button there. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. We appreciate that as much. And if you would love to have a copy of this, it's just very simple, all in one sheet. There's nothing on the back, and actually, you're just going to get it as a PDF on your computer. It comes to you just like that at reachkeep.com/blueprint, and we'll get that right to you. So this is Mike here in Sinclair, Wyoming. Thanks for being with us here again today, and we will catch you next week on the Better Sundays podcast at reachkeep.com.